Ladies and gentlemen, you do not need to wait for a miracle to change your life. Sometimes, it is the smallest decisions that create the biggest difference. The journey to a better life is not made through grand gestures, but through quiet steps taken every single day. And those steps come in the form of habits, simple, consistent, daily habits that slowly shape you into someone you are proud to be. Start your day with stillness, not screens. There is something sacred about the beginning of the day. It is quiet. It is soft. It holds a space where your mind has not yet been cluttered by opinions, notifications, or noise. And that is exactly why it matters how you start it. Most people open their eyes and immediately open the screen. Messages, emails, social media. The world barges in before they have even taken their first deep breath. Their thoughts are hijacked by everyone else's life before they have connected with their own, and slowly, without realizing, they stop owning their day. Their peace is gone before it begins. But what if we did it differently? What if the first few minutes after waking up became a pause instead of a scroll? Stillness does not mean sitting like a monk or doing something dramatic. It means giving your mind the gift of quiet before the chaos begins. It can be sitting by a window, sipping water, saying a small prayer, or just breathing deeply with your hand on your heart. This habit changes everything. When you start your day with stillness, your thoughts are clearer. You do not react to every small thing. You listen more. You notice more. You feel more connected to yourself. Your decisions are not rushed. Your emotions are not all over the place. You begin the day by being present, and that presence becomes the foundation of everything else. In stillness, you remember what matters. You remember who you are, not what people expect you to be. You remember your dreams, not just your deadlines. You remember your peace, not just your pressure. Stillness is where you meet yourself before the world meets you. It is also a gentle way of showing self-respect. You are telling yourself, you matter, your mind matters, your peace matters. And the beautiful part, it only takes 5 or 10 minutes, just a little time for you, before the rest of the world enters. No phone, no rush, no noise, just awareness. People chase calm like it is a secret treasure. But calm is not found somewhere out there. It is created by what you do daily. And starting your day with stillness is one of the most powerful ways to create that calm. Think of it like tuning an instrument. If you start your day off key, the rest of the day struggles to find harmony. But if you begin with a pause, a deep breath, a silent intention, your rhythm aligns. You move with more grace. You think before you speak. You feel before you react. You start leading your day instead of being dragged by. Gratitude is not about being fake happy or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to notice what is already here, what is already working, what is already enough. Most people are waiting for some big success or change before they feel grateful. They say, I will be thankful when I get that job, or I will feel better once I'm in a better place. But the truth is, if you cannot feel grateful now, you will not feel grateful then. Because gratitude is not a destination. It is a way of seeing, a mindset, a daily habit. Life is not made up of only big moments. It is made of thousands of tiny, ordinary ones. The smell of tea in the morning, the sound of someone you love laughing, the way sunlight hits your wall. A message that arrives at just the right time, a small win that no one claps for. These are the things that go unnoticed when we are always chasing more. But these are the exact things that make life feel rich. When you pause and give thanks for the little things, something inside you shifts. Your mind stops racing. Your heart softens. You start to see beauty in what you already have. Gratitude is also protection. It protects your peace. When your mind wants to spiral into everything that is wrong, Gratitude pulls it back to what is right. When you feel overwhelmed, it brings you back to what is working. It does not erase your pain. It just reminds you that your pain is not the whole picture. It says, yes, this is hard, but look, there is still light. And sometimes that reminder is all you need to keep going. Practicing gratitude is not complicated. It is not a ritual that takes hours. It can be one sentence written down in a notebook, one thought whispered before sleeping, one deep breath followed by, thank you for this moment. The key is consistency. You do not wait for special occasions. You do not wait until everything feels perfect. You do it every day, especially on the days when it feels hardest. Because those are the days your mind needs it the most. It is easy to complain, easy to focus on what is missing, what others have, what you wish was different. But when you train your brain to see what is present, what is good, what is kind, your life begins to feel lighter. You start appreciating the things you used to take for granted. The body that carries you, the mind that is still learning, the heart that still hopes. Even when things are tough, you start to say, I am grateful for my strength, for my breath, for the chance to try again. Gratitude also changes how you treat others. You stop taking people for granted. You notice their efforts. You say thank you more. You become softer, more patient, more open, and in return your relationships deepen. Because nothing connects people more than feeling seen, appreciated, and valued. This habit of gratitude slowly becomes a lens. You begin to see life not as a list of demands, but as a collection of blessings, not as something you are owed, but something you are gifted. And with that shift, even your struggles begin to teach you something. Even your losses reveal what truly matters. You stop moving through life with a heavy heart. You walk with presence, with awareness, with grace. Every morning you have two choices. Focus on what is missing, or focus on what is already here. One will drain you, the other will fill you. One will keep you chasing, the other will keep you grounded. Gratitude is not a feeling that comes after joy. It is the path to joy itself.
Sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is not something you do only when everything else is done. It is the foundation that allows everything else to be done well. And yet sleep is the first thing many people sacrifice. They stay up scrolling, watching, worrying, working, telling themselves they will rest later, they will catch up eventually. But the body does not wait for permission, it keeps score. And the cost of ignoring sleep shows up quietly at first, in tired eyes, in foggy thinking, in short tempers, in slow healing. Then slowly, it becomes your new normal, waking up tired, living in a haze, chasing energy from coffee instead of your own rhythm. When you sleep with intention, you give your body the gift of repair. You allow your mind to process, your muscles to recover, your heart to reset. Sleep is not just rest, it is restoration, a time when the body does its silent work. It clears the clutter from your brain, balances your hormones, strengthens your immune system, and calms your nervous system. It is the reset button most people keep ignoring while wondering why they feel off balance. But sleeping with intention means more than just lying in bed. It means preparing your mind for rest, creating a space that feels safe, calm, and quiet, letting go of the day instead of carrying it with you into the night. It means setting boundaries with technology, with noise, with late-night habits that steal your peace. When your sleep becomes a ritual instead of an afterthought, your life begins to feel more in sync. Waking with purpose is just as important. It is about rising, not in panic, but in presence, not hitting snooze over and over, but opening your eyes with a sense of choice. Starting your day not in a rush, but with a small moment of stillness. That does not mean every morning will be perfect, but it means you are not at the mercy of your alarm. You are not stumbling into your day half awake and already behind. You are showing up, alert, grounded, clear. The quality of your morning is shaped by the quality of your night. If you fall asleep with stress, chaos, noise, it follows you into the next day. But if you end your night with calm, intention, and gratitude, that energy carries forward. It becomes a rhythm, one that does not just make you healthier, but more focused, more emotionally stable, more creative, more kind. Most people chase motivation, but the truth is sleep gives you the clarity to know what matters. It gives you the strength to follow through. It gives your brain the reset it needs to solve problems, to focus, to learn. When you are sleep deprived, everything feels harder than it actually is. Small problems feel like heavy burdens. Simple tasks feel overwhelming, and joy starts to feel out of reach. You do not need a perfect routine. You just need a commitment to protect your rest, to not see sleep as wasted time, but as sacred time, to respect your bedtime like you respect your meetings, to honor your body's signals instead of fighting them, to create an evening space that soothes your mind instead of stimulating it. That could mean reading a book instead of watching another episode, writing down your thoughts instead of scrolling, dimming the lights instead of keeping your phone lit in your face until midnight. Waking with purpose does not have to mean a long morning routine or chasing the sunrise every day. It simply means waking up and knowing you are not behind before the day even starts. It means beginning your morning with one clear thought, one steady breath, one calm step forward. That steadiness is not about speed, it is about direction. It is what gives you the power to move through your day with intention instead of reaction. Sleep and wake are not two separate things. They are the beginning and end of the same cycle. And when you learn to honor both, your entire life begins to feel more alive.
The way you speak to yourself becomes the way you live your life. Every word, every thought, every sentence you repeat in your mind creates a pattern. Most people do not even realize how unkind they are to themselves. They mess up once and call themselves a failure. They make a mistake and replay it in their head like a punishment. They compare their lives with others and tell themselves they are not enough, not smart enough, not pretty enough, not successful enough. And slowly, those words become their truth, not because they are facts, but because they were repeated so often. You would not speak to a friend the way you speak to yourself. You would not call someone you care about a loser, a disappointment, or a waste of time. And yet, that is how people talk to their own reflection. It starts small, a thought here, a joke there. I am so stupid. Why can I never get anything right? Of course this happened to me. Over time, those words dig deep. They shape your confidence, your mood, your energy, your decision. They become the background noise of your life, constantly whispering reasons why you should not try, why you do not deserve better, why you should give up. But the truth is, you are not your worst moment. You are not your mess up. You are not your past. You are a work in progress, just like everyone else. You are growing, you are learning, and you deserve to be spoken to with the same kindness you give others. Self-kindness is not weakness, it is strength. It takes courage to treat yourself with care in a world that constantly pushes you to be more, do more, prove more. It takes strength to look at yourself and say, I am doing my best, even when your best does not look like success to others. Speaking kindly to yourself is a habit. It does not come naturally to everyone, especially if you grew up in an environment where criticism was louder than encouragement. But it can be learned. It starts with noticing your inner voice, paying attention to how you speak to yourself when things go wrong, catching the harsh thought, replacing them with something more true, more gentle, not fake praise, but real compassion. I made a mistake, but that does not mean I am a mistake. I feel lost today, but that does not mean I am failing. I am struggling, but that does not mean I am weak. Your words matters. They build or break you. And when you change your inner dialogue, everything else begins to change too. You take more risks because you are not afraid of failing in front of your own judgment. You try new things because you know you will not tear yourself apart if it does not go perfectly. You rest without guilt. You ask for help without shame. You forgive yourself without waiting for someone else to say, "It is okay." This kind of self-talk is not about ignoring problems. It is about facing them without destroying yourself in the process. It is about holding space for both accountability and compassion. You can tell yourself the truth without being cruel. You can want to grow without hating who you are now. You can be both a work in progress and worthy of kindness. Every time you choose to speak gently, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken by outside voices. You stop needing constant validation from others. Because you have built a safe home inside your own mind. You become your own source of strength, your own cheerleader, your own safe place. And that changes everything. Because when your inner world becomes kinder, your outer world begins to reflect that same peace. You begin to walk differently. You begin to glow in silence. You begin to rise without noise. All because you decided to change the way you speak to the person who hears you the most. There is too much noise in the world, not just the kind you hear, but the kind that lives in your mind. The constant stream of opinions, updates, advice, comparison, arguments, distractions. It never ends. Every scroll brings you someone else's life. Every notification steals a piece of your attention. Every click opens another door into someone's world, while quietly pulling you away from your own. People wake up and reach for their phones before they even reach for their thoughts. They know everything about others, but very little about themselves. That is what happens when you consume more than you create. You lose touch with who you are. Creating something does not mean becoming an artist or writing a book. It means using your energy to make something that reflects your mind, your heart, your values. It can be writing a journal, planning your day with intention, cooking a meal with love, planting a small flower, fixing something that was broken, helping someone with a kind word, solving a problem at work in a new way. Creation is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is you saying, "I am not just a sponge soaking up the world. I am a soul shaping it, even in small ways." When you consume too much noise, your inner voice starts to fade. You begin to doubt your decisions. You stop hearing your own instincts. You start moving like a copy of everyone else. That is not living. That is drifting. And drifting is dangerous, because it feels like movement but takes you nowhere. To break that cycle, you have to choose meaning. You have to start building more than you binge, creating more than you scroll, feeling more than you perform. There is peace in creating, even when it is small. There is something grounding about putting your energy into something you can see, or touch, or reflect on. It becomes a mirror of your growth, and slowly it becomes a rhythm, a part of your daily life that keeps you centered. When the world feels overwhelming, you have something that brings you back to yourself. You are not just reacting to everything around you. You are participating, choosing, shaping. Creating also connects you to your own story. Instead of living through the highlight reels of others, You begin to find beauty in your own moments. You see your own progress. You feel your own presence. You become less interested in proving and more focused on building. This shift is quiet, but powerful. Because when your days are filled with meaning, you stop searching for constant entertainment. You stop needing validation every hour. You stop fearing being alone. Because your own presence becomes enough. You begin to ask better questions. Not what did I miss online, but what did I do today that made me feel alive? Not who liked my post, but what did I create that I am proud of? Not how do I look compared to others, but how does my life feel when I am truly present in it? These are the kinds of questions that build a better life. And they cannot be answered in the middle of noise. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. Stillness is not boring. It is rich with meaning. But you can only access that when you unplug from the noise long enough to listen. Listen to your own thoughts. Listen to your needs. Listen to your dreams. And then create something with that energy. Something real. Something true. Something that reflects who you are becoming. When you do that daily, even in small ways, you reclaim your power. You no longer wait for life to give you meaning. You bring meaning to life. Time is not just hours on a clock. It is your energy, your focus, your life. How you spend your time is how you spend your existence. And yet, so many people treat it like it is unlimited. They give it away without thinking. To distractions, to people who drain them, to tasks that do not align with their values, to habits that leave them empty, and then they wonder why they feel behind, unfulfilled, disconnected. But the truth is, if you do not respect your time, no one else will. You do not need more hours. You need more awareness, more clarity on what actually matters to you, more boundaries around your priorities. Because not everything deserves your time. Not every message needs a reply. Not every request needs a yes. Not every notification deserves your attention. Saying yes to everything is not kindness. Sometimes it is avoidance. Avoidance of what you really want to build. Avoidance of the hard work of focus. Avoidance of the discomfort of choosing yourself. Respecting your time is an act of self-worth. It is you saying, my life matters enough to protect. It is not about becoming rigid or obsessed with productivity. It is about becoming intentional. Asking yourself, is this how I want to spend my life? Before saying yes. Recognizing that every hour you give away is an hour you never get back. Being generous with your time is beautiful, but it should come from a place of fullness, not guilt or pressure. One of the reasons people struggle with time is because they forget they have the right to choose. You do not have to attend every gathering, take every call, scroll for every update, say yes to every demand. You are allowed to pause, to say no, to reschedule, to carve out time for rest, for focus, for healing, for growth. Time is a currency, and your values are the budget. Spend it where it brings the most meaning. This habit of protecting your time also builds self-trust. When you say, I will wake up early to write, or I will exercise at this hour, and then you follow through, you begin to believe in your own word. That belief grows into discipline. Discipline grows into progress, and progress becomes the quiet proof that your life is moving in the right direction. Not because of a miracle, but because you took responsibility for how your time is spent. Distractions will always be there, but so will your dream. The difference lies in what you choose more often. It is not about never getting distracted. It is about noticing it and coming back. Coming back to your values, coming back to your focus, coming back to what you said matters to you. That return is a habit, and habits are what shape your future. Another part of respecting time is respecting the time of others. Showing up when you say you will, being present in conversations, not wasting energy on gossip, blame, or things outside your control. When you treat time with care, you become more grounded, more thoughtful, more effective. You stop rushing through life and start living inside it. This habit also brings freedom, because once you realize that you are in charge of your time, you stop being a victim to your schedule. You stop blaming the world for your chaos. You take ownership, and that ownership is what allows you to design a life that fits you, not one that constantly exhausts you. There will always be demands, there will always be noise, but within that, you can create space for your work, space for your rest, space for your healing, space for what truly matters. And the more you practice this, the more your days begin to feel like your own, not borrowed, not stolen, but truly lived. Your body is your home, the only place you truly live in. And yet, so many people treat it like an afterthought. They wait until something goes wrong to notice it. They sit for hours without movement, ignoring the tension in their back, the tightness in their chest, the stiffness in their legs. They tell themselves they are too busy, too tired, too overwhelmed. But the truth is, even 5 minutes of gentle movement can shift your entire day. You do not need a fancy gym or a personal trainer. You need awareness. A moment of connection between you and your body. Movement is not just about fitness. It is about energy, emotion, presence. When you walk, stretch, breathe deeply, or simply sway your body, you are not just working on your health. You are releasing what your body has been holding. Stress, sadness, frustration, all of it gets stored in your muscles, your posture, your breath. When you move, you let it out. You feel lighter, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. That is why some of the clearest thinking happens during a walk. That is why dancing alone in your room can change your mood faster than any motivational quote. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to follow a strict routine. You just need to begin. A few stretches after waking up, a walk around the block, a dance in your kitchen. A few minutes of yoga. Movement is freedom. It is your body saying, I am still alive. I still work. I still carry you. And when you respond with care, your body responds with strength. It becomes more open, more fluid, more awake. We live in a world that glorifies pushing through pain, sitting for hours on end, working endlessly, proving our worth through exhaustion. But your body was not designed for that. It was made to move, to bend, to breathe. When you ignore that need, your body starts to speak louder through discomfort, through aches, through fatigue. It is not weakness, it is a message. And movement is the reply. Moving your body daily is also an act of self-respect. It is you saying, I matter enough to take care of myself. It is you making time, even in a busy day, to connect with the one thing that carries you through everything. It does not need to look impressive. It needs to feel honest. Some days it might be a strong workout. Other days it might be just a walk in silence. Both are valid. Both are enough. Movement also brings you back to the moment. In a time where our minds are scattered in 100 directions, your body is always here. When you move with intention, you ground yourself. You stop overthinking. You stop rushing. You just breathe and move and exist. That is healing in itself. And when you move regularly, your confidence starts to rise. Not because of how you look, but because of how you feel. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to feel capable. You notice your posture change. Your steps become firmer. Your presence becomes stronger. You stop shrinking yourself. You take up space, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. Your body wants to support you. It wants to help you feel better, live better, be better, but you have to meet it halfway. You have to show up for it. Not once a week, not once a month, but daily, even for just a few minutes. Because those few minutes add up. They become a rhythm, a habit, a part of who you are. And slowly, your body becomes not something you fight against, but something you walk with, side by side, step by step.
There's a fire in the distance, and the smoke fills up my lungs. I hear footsteps in the silence, like a war that's yet to come. These fears keep ringing, 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 ringing. These fears keep ringing. The storm is rising in my mind. I taste the ash on my tongue, like a truth I can't outrun. My shadow walks without me, and the night never ends. These doubts keep digging, 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 digging. These doubts keep digging, 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 digging. I feel the weight of the heavy sky, holding my breath as the angels cry. No one sees, but I can't lie. The storm is rising in my mind. Beneath the dirt, I plant my pain, where thunder speaks my name again. And if I break alone. But fears keep ringing, 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 ringing. These fears keep ringing.